Oh, we already started off with a crash. Oh, no, we're going back in time. What the heck was that? I felt like I was going back in time.
Yes.
No, how come we didn't see what happened? Did you not want to tell us why? The real Paul? So he crashed. Whatever happened, whatever caused it, he crashed. So he crashed way back there. He's over here. Look how far he slid. Look how far he slid. You see what I mean? Now this person is not doing too well. Only have a jacket. Or only have a helmet. We got an ambulance on scene. Looks like somebody's holding C-spine and just kind of sitting there. They got full gear. There's a cervical collar. They're going to take off the helmet because they're professionals. Let them do it. And that was it. Okay, very interesting. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. So he's going to be sliding. He's got full leathers. Full leathers. He can afford full leathers with his KTM, but his passenger doesn't. His passenger doesn't have full gear. Guys, if you're going to be riding with a passenger, just here's the thing. Their life is now in your hands. It's your responsibility. He's got full leathers. Guys, if you can afford that, get your passenger something.
Yes.
So, but look how far he slid. So, obviously that person was the passenger. And look how far we are. See. There you go. There's the little dot. That's how far we slid. Now, thankfully, he had full gear because he would have pieces of flesh all the way going back to that person. I've seen it. I've picked it up off the ground because you have to clean up afterwards. Put it in a biohazard bag, a little red bag. Take it to the hospital. Throw it in the red dumpster. Easily, I've done it. I've done it. He doesn't have flesh on the ground because he's got full gear. Now his passenger only has a helmet. We can't be doing this, guys. Look how far. Look how far. Not full gear. Now, I think those pants were already ripped. That helmet looks a little bit too big also. It could be just kind of shot up a little bit. Backpack on. Not real gloves. Not real pants. Not real anything, okay? I'm sorry, but I'm not going to let anybody on my bike unless they're wearing full gear. And if it's a loved one, well, they're not getting on my bike until I get them full gear. It's not my job to buy you gear to get on my bike. I'm buying my family gear first. All right? So right here, what's happening is there's a passage of time, obviously, because you have an ambulance and then other riders with full gear on. So it looks like it might have been part of a group ride. We have somebody with a little bit of knowledge. They're holding C-spine. So what's happening is they're holding their head in line. Instead of being like this way, because that's not the anatomical position, you kind of restrict things. Also, if it's like this, you're restricting your airway a little bit. So if you have it in line and then they're holding it here and not doing this, because you want to like shake your head. So yeah, no, that's not what happened. Yeah, You don't want that, and you want them looking around because now they're moving their neck. So if you hold it here and you tell them, hey, we're gonna be asking you questions, and if it's a yes or no, I don't want you nodding up or down or shaking your head left and right. You're gonna stay looking forward. It's gonna keep your head in line and just answer your questions through your words. That's what you do, okay? So you keep their head in line. You just sit there. It's very painful on your back. Trust me, I've been there. I just usually lay down and hold it and then just kind of relax myself and let somebody else answer the questions. But right here in this situation, I'd be cutting off some gear or some clothing just in case. Just in case there was any type of bleeding or broken bones, I'm going to be cutting some of that gear off, some of that clothing off to double check, make sure that there's no penetration wounds, make sure there's no bleeding that needs to be stopped, because the last thing you want is somebody to die right here because they have lost too much blood before the ambulance can show up. And that's the whole point of medical training. We do have a link to some medical training in the description. Check it out. Please take it. Take the online class. It's going to be definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. All right? Oh, terrible. And that right there is a cervical collar. They're just going to put that on so that it's going to help keep it limited in movement. So The reason why you take a helmet off, class, what are the reasons why you take a helmet off of a crashed motorcyclist? All right, so there's only a few reasons. One, they absolutely have to not be breathing. They have to not be breathing and have a full face. And not both, or not one or the other, but both. So they have to not be breathing and have a full face. If they're not breathing and have a 3/4 helmet, you have access to their mouth and airway. So you don't need to take it off. But the main thing is if they're not breathing and they have a full face, you don't have access to their airway. So in order to do rescue breaths. So that's when you take it off. And there's a way to take it off, and it looks like they're doing it the appropriate way. But you learn that in the class too, accident scene management. So make sure you guys take that class. Make sure you guys know what to do. Now, if they're wanting to take it off and they're talking to you and they're just kind of like sitting there like, no, dude, we're gonna keep it on until the EMTs and paramedics take it off. We're not gonna take it off. All right, we're not trained to do it, and plus, there's no reason to right now. It's just uncomfortable. Deal with it. You crashed. All right, the helmet's at least your worries. Go ahead and loosen the strap a little bit. Maybe even take the strap off, but don't take the helmet off. No, don't do that. All right, so we're gonna be riding here.
Driver who stopped in the worst place possible.
We just passed this vehicle. These people are slowing down. We're getting closer. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Why did we stop? Why did we decide to stop? Okay, I don't understand that thing. So if we're passing this vehicle, right?
And the driver who stopped.
We're passing this vehicle right before these vehicles come. A little bit dangerous. A little bit dangerous. But now we have this vehicle in front of us. This vehicle right here, slowing down. So we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. That means our space cushion is getting smaller and smaller. So that means our total stopping distance is getting smaller. And it's because of that thing. Uncommon thing in a common situation. Somebody's parked, maybe taking a dump. I don't know. If nobody sees it, did it really happen? But anyways, we're going to go over here. Why did we decide to stop? Okay, we could have kept going. Okay, so we put ourselves in a bad spot. Go ahead and move ourselves out of there. Good job on the progressive braking and stopping, but we do have an escape path. If that car could do it, we definitely can do it. It was kind of weird. It's kind of weird. All right, so here we go. We're riding around with a group of others. Good spacing. We're going a little wide right there because the car scared us. These two people fell. His leg's trapped. Is your leg trapped, buddy? The other guy not wearing full gear, but he's probably going to school, coming back from school. Now, remember, not everybody can afford gear. Not everybody has access to gear. So that's a huge thing, okay? So I don't fault anybody for not really wearing gear. I will always recommend gear. But here's one thing. If you're on a motorcycle, you obviously got a motorcycle. So at no point can you not have good situational awareness or fundamental skills. You can maybe not get, the education to rescue another rider, or maybe you don't want to teach and mentor, and maybe you can't afford gear or can't get gear, but you're already on a motorcycle. How come you don't have the good fundamental skills or situational awareness? That right there, it's like we got to be smart riders. We're going to be going through here. Very narrow road. Lots of different situations going on. We got pedestrians, no shoulder whatsoever. So we got a car coming around here. Now, how many times have you guys gone around a corner and the car kind of came around the corner and it freaked you out a little bit? Okay, so it's because it broke your line of sight. You're looking this way, right? You're all like, you're turning. Let's see how I can do this. I'm turning this way, and all of a sudden the car's like, oh crap. It scares me, but I can still go around it. It's because that car broke your line of sight of where you're supposed to be going, kind of shook you up, messed you up. And that's where having the training to where it's like, hey, even if my line of sight is bad, I still know which way this road is going because I oriented myself to the situation. OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, and act. You actually oriented yourself to the situation. If your observation has been cut, you still know within space and time where you should be going. And once it passes, boom, connected right back into it. So, lots of training that's involved. Lots of training that's involved when it comes to this. And that's the problem. Is not a lot of people get the training. So we went a little bit wide. We got freaked out. Went a little bit wide. Crashed. And we're having issues now. Having big issues. Part of being a smart rider is acquiring and utilizing personal protective equipment. So make sure you grab yourself a jacket just like this one from REVZILLA using the link in the description. It's an affiliate link. It helps me out. No extra cost to you. Plus, it lets REVZILLA know that the DanDanTheFireman crew is pretty badass, and they actually grab some gear. Anyways, click that link. I'll see you soon. All right, so we're riding around Street Fighter Atlanta. All right, so we got that sharp left, sharp right. So we're gonna come into the sharp left. I think we talked about this one
Mistake
already.
loses control of his bike and he ultimately doesn't manage to handle with it.
Okay. So good job. Whoa, what's up with the foot? What's up with the foot? What happened there? Maybe we didn't talk about this one. I don't remember that. I always remember those sharp right, sharp lefts. So good job slowing down and not crashing yourself, because it's your job at this point to be the one that's uninjured, to assist the injured and rescue a rider if they need it.
You all right?
Is it on top
Stay
of
down
him?
for a second.
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm good.
Very good. Put the camera in super view.
Yeah.
It helps out a lot.
Well,
seems like we're kind
at
of
least
zoomed
it's
in.
in a soft place.
I know.
Maybe nothing's broken off down there. I don't see anything in your path.
All right. So very good. Very good. And you're right. You know, I did see this. I did see this part right here. It's not a rock form. Come on, everybody. Get yourself a rock form mount. Woo! Use the link in the description for a discount. All right. So I don't know exactly what happened here, but take a look at the signage. Take a look at right here. Very important. 25 miles per hour. The little squiggles. You know, sharp left, sharp right. Okay? Note 10, I'm not your papa. I'm not your dad. All right? Calm down. But yeah, so just know this. It's like the user interface of a video game. You know, you see this thing come up. Hey, boom, 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 boom. Or it's like on your GPS. You see it coming up, so you know you can slow down and prep for these types of things. Very important to do. So this person's going to go ahead and turn
And
left.
here is another situation where the
They're
bike
turning.
makes a mistake, loses control of his bike and he ultimately doesn't manage to handle with it.
I think she was talking to him.
The mistake loses.
So Motostar starts talking. I'll keep quiet. Listen.
And here is another.
So that right there, I think she's the more experienced rider, and he's the one creating the pace, and she's walking him through how to ride these corners, which is very, very good. And that's what we use here. We use the Cardo Pack Talks to do that too. So I like mine. It works really good. But that's one of the use cases of having a Bluetooth system. It's not just to listen to music, and it's not just to communicate and have a good time and say, hey, what's up? It's also very good for the more experienced rider to talk to the less experienced rider when it's needed. Sometimes you just need to be quiet, but when they're absolutely learning and they want to hear it, go ahead and do that. And that's how being a good mentor, teaching and mentoring smart rider, that's how I like to do it. So anyways, we're going to do a left. So he's doing pretty good on that left turn. Very good. Very good on the left turn.
Control of his bike.
So we're going to do the right turn. Now, I don't know exactly why.
He doesn't manage to handle with it.
So I don't know exactly why he starts putting his foot down. I think he went wide. So you see how he's going a little bit wide. I think he might have went a little bit wide. I think it went a little bit wide. Yeah. And then we panic a little bit. And I don't know why we start putting our feet down. That could just be a natural panic, but it's just the right foot. Yeah, I don't know why we did that in the first place. Don't know why we did that in the first place. Okay, that is a natural beginner rider reaction. It's like, oh no, I feel like I'm falling, or oh no, I feel like I'm messing up. And then you start putting your feet down like you want to, like you're used to, like with a bicycle. That's something that needs to be trained out of you guys. So it does, Daniel. See, it does feel like it is a rookie move. So just remember, as part of the crew, being a DanDanTheFireman crew member, we have a lot of good mentors on the Discord. So if you have any questions like this kind of stuff, it's like, hey, I feel like I'm always gonna put my foot down. Ask in the Discord. We have a lot of good people in there that will help out. But yeah, this is definitely a rookie move. Which sucks because you don't want to see anybody crash, right? You don't want to see anybody have issues. Thankfully, nobody's seriously hurt, but in the middle of a corner like that, you got to be very careful. You just got to trust your machine. You got to keep your feet on the pegs. You got to do slow look, press, and roll. You got to do what you got to do, okay? Definitely looks like a new rider.
You all right?
And the rider there with the camera is very, very calm.
For a second.
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
It looked like he was losing speed, leaned past what he was comfortable with, and put his leg out. Never hit the brakes until it was at the edge of the road. One only X-Ram, I trust what you say. I believe that too. Boom.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Now, we talked about the smart rider principles and the A portion of acquiring and utilizing it, and that's fine. That's pretty simple, right? Well, what is it that you need to wear? What is it you need to do? I do have a video on that of what not to wear, and I do give you some resources on what you should wear. You might want to check that video out, but the next thing is you need to wear protection, okay? I'm double emphasizing this one. You need to wear protection. Okay, so we understand the risks, we're accepting them, and then we know that if we do crash, we could get severely injured or die from them. And the only way to really minimize that after the crash happens, right? To minimize that and mitigate that is to wear protective gear, okay? So the severity of a crash, let's say it's a 10 out of 10, and that's a possibility of dying, if not dead. If you wear gear, maybe it knocks it down to an 8 out of 10 where you do survive and you do not have long-lasting injuries. So I would rather have a crash that has gear on so that I, still have to go to the hospital. I still have to do all these things, maybe a broken bone, but it heals in 8 to 12 weeks, maybe a little bit of rehab, compared to just being dead or having a brain injury that affects me for the rest of my life. And I cannot, think or do a bunch of different things that I was able to do prior to the accident. So I understand the risks, I'm accepting them. And now I'm gonna use a solution, which is to wear gear, because you need to, okay? You absolutely need to.
We just watched a ton of close calls and crashes. Now, if this is something you like, please show it to me by clicking that like button and commenting down below. Now, here's the thing. You have to submit your own videos in order for this to happen. So if you want to, there's a link in the description for that. But go ahead and check out this video right here, and then maybe this one right here. This one's actually pretty dang good. I had a ton of fun with this one. I'll be seeing you guys around.